So it's confirmed then, Jose Holebas has left the club. Good evening everyone, welcome to another video. Just remember guys, if you like this video, if you actually stay awake for the rest of this, just remember like, share and subscribe in the description. Just remember click notifications on for the latest live content and videos added every week. Right, okay, so as I said from the bit of the dodgy intro that I put in here, so Jose Holebas has left the club, he's joined the Bundesliga. Let's go run through a little bit of the Jose Holebas at Watford itself. Right, so he signed for 1.8 million plus a few add-ons depending on appearances, stuff like that. It's a Greek international. When he signed 2015, he was with Kichi Anya and Nathan Ake, who also signed subsequently on loan from Chelsea. They were pretty much the three of them were vying for almost the same position. I know a lot of people shoot me down for the fact that Anya wasn't really a left back. No, he wasn't. But I think if you're looking at Ake now, he's more of a centre back. But anyway, 2015-2016, first season back in the Premier League. Jose Holebas and really Nathan Ake were vying for the same position. Kike Flores went more with Ake on the left-hand side. Holobas had a few cameo appearances, not as many as he expected, and pretty much he fell out with Flores, and obviously he left at the end of the season. That was really that for that season in terms of the summarisation for Holobas' first season at Watford. I mean, much speculation in the second season when Walter came in. But to be fair, he was our main left back, or shall we say main wing back, with a lot of the time with Walter playing more of an Italian system with three at the back and Amrabat and Yamat on the right, and you had Holobas on the left. So in terms of appearances, he had much more joy with his appearances. You think as well, you saw, especially probably his best goal. He only scored about 5 goals, but I mean, you don't expect much from a left back. I mean, to be honest, with a couple of the forwards we've got at the moment, you probably expect around that much for our forward line. But there you go. That's for another pod. But he's my lasting memory of Holobas in terms of goal scoring. In terms of his big 5, was probably the one at Middlesbrough. Top corner, goalkeeper's right there, our left, our left as we looked at it, gave us a 1-0 win at Borough. Pretty impressed with him at left wing back for underwater. I mean, okay, there's not much memories to really grasp from that season, our second season in the Premier League, but we stayed up. Holobas, I think looking at the last game of the season against Man City, probably every single player on there was absolutely shocking, but it was notable for one banner that was presented by the team coach, and Holobas came and expressed his opinion. I think you look at Holobas's record. I mean, we'll get to the next couple of seasons as well in a minute, but you look at Holobas as a person. Okay, we knew he was hot-headed, we knew he had a reputation of shall we say losing his temper, but what you got from him was a full-blooded left back that, like we saw in the semi-final last season, took one for the team. He might not play absolutely amazing every game, but he'll die for the cause. Had a very, very good left foot. The only problem is, though, consistently we didn't see much of it. I mean, one memory springs to mind with Holobas's deliveries was the Everton one when Prodil, great enough from Prodil, but it was all to do with, they always say it's the execution is only as good as the delivery, and Holobas's delivery on that day was absolutely spot on. That was one of his, I personally think, one of his best games. That was at the time we were rolling out. Kaka was barely playing. We were just rolling him out for the Everton games every season, especially at home. He seemed to be world class. Holobas' third season, in fact, under Marco Silva, was the main left back. Sort of kicked on, I think the second season, once he got a few games, a bit similar like Decore. Once Decore started getting games and really kicking on, you really saw the player that Decore became. Okay, he's had the shaky season this season, but we all know what a good player he is. Holobas kicked on under Walter, turned up, Silva turned up, bit more of attacking emphasis for Holobas seemed to revel in, certainly in a few games. I was quite impressed with him. I mean, he had the odd shocker, but I think most players did. And he was really the last probably 3 seasons he's been our go-to left back. Come the last season, we obviously with the introduction mainly. I mean, we had other contenders to his throne coming up, but the main one that's probably completely dethroned him is Messina. Last season, you saw sort of 1 or 2 games when he sort of took part, but Holobas was still the main guy. Pretty decent season from Holobas. Didn't pull up any trees, but first choice left back. Made some decent starts, and the full-back positions have never really been a strength for us, but I think there was no one really to challenge him, to be honest, at left back. So Holobas, pretty decent start last season. Part of the FA Cup final team, so he's got that to go on. Obviously, he won't be remembering too much of the final, but less said than that, the better. This season, it's really been fighting between, and also Kiko. Kiko had that mini emergence around December time when we've sort of like the injuries were playing a part. I mean, Messina, I think, was pretty much made that position his own this season, which has left, especially under Pearson, has left Holobas sort of clutching its straws, and really looking at where do I go from here, and yeah, I think that you're looking at he was out of contract. I know a few of the guys, including Mubdina, were saying that on our Sunday podcast that he was looking at going anyway this season. I think at 35 as well. I think that time was up here. He's had a great service. I would like just put on record, Jose, thank you ever so much for all your service. There's going to be your critics out there, but I thought you're an excellent left back for us. And within the 4 seasons you were with us, thank you ever so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you at left back. I mean, obviously he's not a Paul Robinson, as we all know. Robbo, absolute left back god for us. The likes of Gary Porter, players like that. But Holobas has done us proud. I was impressed with the work that Holobas has done. Like we said, throughout these seasons, we've had players that have been on and off. He's had this time, but I think he was good. He was good. I was really impressed with Holobas. So thank you ever so much, Jose, and good luck in Germany. Like we said, I was just going on about the end of the season. We signed this sort of COVID contract, as a lot of people saying that a lot of the players' contracts were up in May, so they sort of brought them on for the last, let's say, 7 or 8, 9 games, whatever. So he signed that one, and whatever the reasons behind it, obviously Pearson being the head coach, he chose, obviously Messina was the first choice left back, but he also chose not to put a backup left back, shall we say, because he had Kiko and a natural left-sided player, fullback as it were, on the bench. So since I believe Southampton, so that was pretty much marked the end of Holobas's career at the club. So he's decided to move on to the Bundesliga. So that is pretty much in a nutshell. It's probably the quickest I could possibly put on Holobas's career at the club. Like I say, I mean, there's always going to be better left backs that people are choosing. If you put your all-time greatest Watford 11, Holobas will very rarely get in it. But for what it's worth, I thought he did a very good job at the club. And with all the contenders to his throne, he saw them off. With obviously a younger Messina coming in, obviously with loan players coming back, we've got a already ready-made replacement for Holobas. But I was happy with what he did at the club, and that, like I say, that is it. So guys, if you like to just like, share and subscribe, click the notification button as well for more Pidge pods.